we'll go to regular maintenance. Maintenance is important. Maintenance includes everything from updates, making sure your SQL Server is nice up to date, making sure your Windows host, or I guess Linux hosts now, are up to date. It's making sure that disk space is free, making sure your statistics are up to date, your indexes are not fragmented. Yeah, there's all kinds of things that you need to check on a daily, a weekly, a monthly schedule to make sure everything's going nice and smooth.
Yeah, I think the best starting point as a new DBA, what you can do in this, I'm trying to give an actionable item. Look and see if you have any maintenance plans. If you have a database help monitor installed, you can run the quick scan. It will tell you if you have maintenance plans. And if you do have maintenance plans, scrap them, get rid of them, throw them away. Well, don't do it on production immediately. If you do have maintenance plans, look at how you can replace them with a maintenance tool like Ola Halligren's scripts. His index maintenance, the Ola Halligren index maintenance, the backups, the DBCC CheckDB, all of those are a great starting point to get regular maintenance in place.
Ola Halligren scripts are the pretty much gold standard of like what the baseline maintenance should look like on a SQL Server. And there's tons of stuff outside of that, but I think as far as just the SQL Server is concerned, those scripts cover everything that should be done. And he does them way better and more efficiently than SQL Server maintenance plans.
Yeah, we're a big proponent of not using SQL Server maintenance plans. They're clunky and outdated, and they just don't really integrate well into modern maintenance solutions.
And I guess going back to number 2, which was performance, maintenance plans are awful. Don't use them. But also the database tuning advisor in SQL Server is also not recommended. Go see if you have any DTA tables and figure out how to replace those with real indexing solutions.
Yes, yeah, those. I mean, that's just extra weight. We always say that the best way or one of the best ways that Microsoft has sold more SQL Server licenses is by recommending DTA indexes, is because they are just heavy and they can increase your costs. So another one that rolls back into performance though is index maintenance, the Ola Halligren index maintenance. If you haven't had statistics updated or your indexes are out of date, just as far as organization, internal type stuff, this is without getting too deep. Running the index maintenance can greatly increase server performance across the board, all numbers.
And that's one of those things that it's a slow bleed. You won't, if you don't do it right away, it's not a big issue, but all of a sudden stuff is noticeably slower like a year later. That's when you start to notice. It doesn't happen overnight, and you don't realize stuff is slow until someone's like, didn't this used to take like a second and now it takes a minute?
Yeah, for sure. That's one. It's a big win if it's never been done. If it has, you're just making sure that you're using the best solution that you can. And then one we haven't really talked about is DBCC CheckDB. We've seen it before where people just aren't running it. We get it. Like, I understand it can be a heavy operation, especially on larger databases. It can take some time and it will eat up resources, but that doesn't outweigh the cost of knowing whether corruption is in your databases or not. Like, that's huge. If CheckDB hasn't been ran on your servers and you do find corruption, well, that's a whole different. Give us a call.
Yeah, and that's one of the things where we go back to like maintenance is really necessary on databases, and DBCC is one of those super important ones. And we recommend that you should try to. I think our recommendations what nightly to run it, or is it every other? Yeah, nightly. And if you go get database health monitor, we have reports like CPU by hour and disk latency by hour and all the by hour reports. Those are super helpful for trying to schedule in that maintenance job that everyone says you can't do. Well, you just go figure out when the database is not being used and schedule it during that time. I mean, usually everyone has like, I mean, except like some companies have, worldwide worldwide databases that are being accessed constantly at all times of the day. But even then, you should make sure that your database isn't corrupt, and you should have the CPU, the resources to be able to run that during a slower period.
Well, let's just say if your company is running a worldwide solution on a single server, there's probably you might want to look at some other options.
Well, I didn't mean a single server. I meant probably availability group or some kind of replication.
It makes it easier if it's in an AG. Again, we're getting into those niche topics that I would love to dive into more. But yes, you do need to have if you are running a worldwide solution on a single server, you need to have a conversation of, well, we do need to run DBCC at some point. Because if we have corruption, that's a big issue.
Yeah, and we've seen some. I don't know, I feel like we've seen it once where someone had DBCC CheckDB running, and it was like once a month, which is better than nothing, but still, that's a whole month worth of corruption that you could have by the time you notice it.
Yeah, it's I don't like to push it like I've seen it done once a week or like you said once a month. The gold standard is using Ola Halligren script once a night. That's what we recommend. If it's easier to come back from 24 hours of corruption than it is for 7 days of corruption than it is 30 days of corruption than it is 6 months of corruption.
Yeah, and sure, if you have good backups, like you can usually, I mean, it's a pain in the butt, but you can, with good backups and a last known good, you can get most of your data back. But sometimes you don't realize how deep the corruption is until you're digging through the tables trying to find stuff.
Yeah, no, it's one that we can tell stories. We've been a part of recoveries where the client had corruption and it was anywhere in a 6 month time frame that corruption had started and wasn't found because DBCC hadn't been ran and we didn't have good backups to go off of. So it's a very difficult process. It can be done. It's a very difficult and very time consuming process to come back from that level of corruption. So run it once a night.
Yeah, and to tie this back to our college didn't prep us good enough for anything for databases. I think college does a lot of big picture database structure and like query building, but as far as like daily, monthly, weekly maintenance, they barely touch on it. I think they even recommend using DTA and maintenance plans instead of. I mean, I think we had a chapter on maintenance plans when in my my first SQL class.
I didn't even have one. That's yeah. So that's more than you got from me. I would agree with it was big picture and writing queries, but it wasn't actual database maintenance. So
Yeah, and as a DBA, maintenance is what makes your life easier when push comes to shove.
yes, yeah, for sure. And I mean, we keep we keep alluding to it. This is a big web of intertwined topics. Your maintenance relies on your backups, and your maintenance relies on performance. And all of this can be enhanced with Database Health Monitor. So we could keep talking on it for forever. As far as you can make it fast, we can make it faster.
Yeah, you can always make something faster.
Thanks for watching. I'm Steve, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you like it, please click the thumbs up icon. And if you want to subscribe, click subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to get notified when we have new videos. All right, have a great day.